Here, I saw a horse.
Yeah.
You saw a
I
horse?
saw a horse.
Really?
So, like, what's like I've never been out here.
Oh, you never been to Dallas?
I stay in my bubble in Midtown,
okay.
and I don't venture out. So, what is like this? Like, what can I expect if I was to like parlay out here?
It's quiet. Dallas is very quiet. It's upcoming. Everyone excited that this event space is here.
Okay.
Because they say there's nothing in Dallas. So once I bought this event space here, I have a lot of the communities that's so excited. Yeah.
So did you tap in with the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, I actually had my ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and I posted that. It's all over my social media. My social media page is at one event. Get it, let's go, guys. All over social media.
Okay, so the community is looking forward to it. Are they excited about it?
Yeah, everybody's been excited, yeah.
Grand opening?
Yeah, I had a grand opening.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. The grand opening, I kept it small between my family and friends and close friends. But when the Paulding County Chambers, when I did that, I opened it up to the community. And that went well. Because I got a lot of Google review, which from my grand opening, because of what you told me. Yeah. I had my QR code all over the table, so everybody was tapping in, Google, writing me reviews, so it was fire.
Yeah, but candy cart, that's
Steers. Yeah.
oh, interesting. Candy cart is fire.
Yeah, candy card is fun.
Candy cart cute. I know you was walking us through the bathrooms and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's 2 doors from here.
This is like this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, so we just decided to just put something there. Sometimes we just decorate, put flowers around here a lot of the times.
Okay.
So you got the business card right
Yeah,
here.
the two.
Got
Got that from the what? Roadmap?
Shout out, Roadmap.
Roadmap. Shout out to Roadmap.
Bathroom getting it done. Bathroom getting
And I didn't do anything.
This is gorgeous.
Well, with the floors, I didn't do anything with the
This is
floors.
gorgeous. I like this. I like this.
They did want to paint for me, that's it. But the floors, I just kept it the same.
That's enough. Good.
That's enough,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I said. I stayed within budget. Like you guys taught me, I did.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the packages. I want to know about the packages.
Okay, so I have 3 packages.
You gotta go price and that.
Okay, so my first package just includes the tables and the chairs.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Okay.
And then my second package includes the tables and chairs and the linens.
Okay.
And then I have the backdrop that includes it with it. And then my third.
So you have backdrops.
Yes, I have a backdrop. It's a grass wall, actually.
Oh, I see it.
If you guys want to look at that, yeah. You can't see it right now because it is, but some people, I have some clients that use the green backdrop in the back.
Okay.
And then, of course, check out my sign, my app when you.
I peeped. I was going to ask about it.
Got that light for you guys.
I peeped that. I was seeing that. And it's also on the website. I love the emblem. I love.
What's going on? Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, drop yes in the chat. Let's go. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Happy Sunday. I hope what y'all think about the video just now? Y'all seen Darlene at one events right here in Atlanta, Georgia. How y'all feeling? If y'all can hear me, drop yes. How y'all feeling tonight? Y'all feeling good? Talk to me. Yo, I'm super excited about tonight. We have a really, really amazing class tonight. A lot that's going to be going on. What did y'all think about? Drop a 1 in the chat if you thought the venue that I just showed y'all was fire. Drop a 1 in the chat if y'all thought that venue that I just showed y'all was fire, right? That was Darlene's App One Event Center. She's right here in Atlanta, Georgia. She went absolutely crazy, followed the roadmap to a T. So would it be all right if by the time we go through tonight's class, y'all all understand how we got Darlene there? Is that cool with y'all? Cool. I got a lot to go on, so I hope y'all got your seatbelts tapped in and everything like that. Is it also cool if I give away some money tonight, y'all? Is it cool if I do that? I gave away some money last class and they was excited. So I think I'm going to give away some money tonight. So by the end of tonight, I'm going to have a special giveaway. I'm going to give away some money. I'm going to pick 3 people to give away some money because I know sometimes if you just put 1 person, it's just not enough. So I'm going to give away some money tonight by the end of the night. It's going to be super, super dope. But if you tapped in me, drop your location real quick. Where's everybody tapping in from? Drop your location, drop your name. I'm big on engagement, so I want to see where everybody's at. I want to see where everybody's tapping in from. I'm seeing Richmond, Virginia. I'm seeing Valdosta. I'm seeing Seattle. I'm seeing Bay Area. I'm seeing Baltimore. Okay. I'm seeing Brooklyn. You know the vibes. I'm seeing Chicago. Cynthia from Chicago. Shout out, you know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm seeing Nigeria. Wow, we international with this thing, you feel me? Okay. Okay, I'm seeing Orlando. I'm seeing Tampa. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I'm seeing Abilene, Texas. Okay, we got Texas. We got down south in the building. We seeing Newark. We seeing some more Nigeria. Okay. We seeing Jersey. I like it. I like it. We got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? We seeing Cleveland, the 2-1. What is that? 216? Shout out 216. Yo, I know a lot of people probably gonna be like, yo, it's not live. I'm seeing Louisiana. Shout out Louisiana, some of the best food in the world, right? Yo, I know a lot of people might say that it's not live. I just want to show y'all the time real quick. It is 7:01 p.m. EST. It is Sunday. This is a totally live class. I'm coming to you live. I'm seeing the names. I'm reading names, all that good stuff, right? One of the biggest things I want to talk about is how to, one, get $50,000 in funding, okay? If that would help, if a $50,000 in funding would help everybody right now, just drop 50K in the chat for me. Okay? Drop 50K in the chat. Next, number two, we're going to be going into how we are going to go ahead and turn that location into $10,000 a month, right? You literally just saw an example of one of the venues in our portfolio, and we do this every single day, twice on Tuesdays, right? We help everyday people turn their vision, turn that funding into $10,000 a month with an event-based business, right? So with that being said, if y'all ready for that, just drop yes in the chat. Drop yes in the chat if you're ready for that, right? Oops, 50K, I love that, right? So one of the biggest things that I want to talk to y'all about right now, before I even get into that, is constraint, okay? Can everybody put that word in the chat for me? Put that word constraint in the chat. I'm seeing Decatur, Georgia. Yes, sir. Right? The word constraint. There is always a constraint that is stopping you from getting to that next level. How many people here? I want everybody to answer me honestly, okay? How many people here have been feeling stuck? Like you can't move you can't move to the next level. You feel like you've hit a glass ceiling. You feel like you can't get to the next step. You feel like you cannot move forward. It's simply because you've hit a constraint. You've hit a constraint in your life. You've hit a constraint in your business that is preventing you from getting to the next level, right? Okay. Is it all right if I share my story real quick, y'all? Can I share my story? Maybe it'll go ahead and resonate with somebody on how I move past my constraints. Is that okay, y'all? Thank you so much. I always like to ask permission, right? I don't want to do nothing that, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So my mom moved to this country from a small country named Guyana, right? With $100 in her pocket, right? And I always say this and I always start the story because her testimony becomes part of my testimony. Can I get an amen real quick? Right? So literally, I've seen this woman come to this country, barely knowing the language, barely having any money, and literally started with a job at $9 an hour. First job, $9 an hour, right? So imagine working at a job for $9 an hour and having to take care of an apartment and having to take care of a kid, right? Like that's not easy. That's tough. And I've literally seen this woman work all my life. All my life. For everybody new who's joining in, you know what I'm saying? If you're ready, if you tapped in, I want you to drop your location in the chat, right? I want you to drop your location. Let's get it. Okay. So I've literally seen this woman literally work all her life. So then just a couple years ago, she turns to me and she says, Brian, you know, I want to retire. Anybody here want to retire soon, sooner rather than later? Anybody here want to retire their parents? Anybody here want to go ahead and maybe give their kids a better future, right? Can somebody put options in the chat? God willing, of course. Can somebody put options in the chat? Right? So when the number one person that you look up to the most looks you in the face and says, hey, look, listen, I want to retire. I don't want to work anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired. Anybody know the feeling? Can that resonate with anybody, y'all? Can that resonate with anybody? I'm tired. Right? Somebody put tired in the chat. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of getting up in the morning. I'm tired. And here's the thing, right? Ain't nothing wrong with working, but it's just like at a certain point, it's like enough is enough. Like I want to do for myself. I want more money. I want more opportunity. I want more freedom. I want more lifestyle. I want more life. Okay? So with that being said, when she told me that she wanted to retire, instantly that turned something on inside of me. Right? That turned something inside of me where at that point, okay, cool. I'm working as a server at this point. I'm making $360 a week as a server. So at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to be able to do this on a server dime. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm making $360 a week as a server, right? So boom, what I do is like I have to start a business. I start working as an event space in my area, and I'm seeing them literally pay $500 to $1,000 a night for the same exact event space. $500 to $1,000 a night. I'm making $360 a week. Can somebody say wow in the chat? Because I'm like, wow. Like you literally made more in one night than I make all week. Wow. So at this point, the light bulb is moving, right? I save up all my money for an entire year and I get my first event space, right? Somebody say action in the chat. Can somebody say action in the chat? This is engaging. I like to be engaging, y'all. I like to see y'all talk to me. You feel me? I take action. I take action. So now at this point, I have my first event space. First 3 months, no money. First 3 months, no money. No money, no honey. Ain't nothing funny, right? But fourth month, I finally figure it out. Fourth month, we do $15,000 in revenue, cash collected. After that, $30,000 a month. After that, $60,000 a month. After that, $100,000 a month. After that, $150,000 a month, you know? And all this happened because I had my why and I took action. Can somebody drop why in the chat? Can somebody drop why? You first and foremost, you need to have a like. We're going to be going through a lot of information tonight. We're going to be going through a lot of things tonight. We're going to be going through the funding secrets. We're going to be going through the funding sequences. We're going to be going through how to find the property. We're going to be going through how to funding it, right? But if you don't have a why, all the information is useless. All the information is useless because you have no reason to go ahead and go after it. There's no reason to go ahead and wake up in the morning and change your situation. At a certain point, the pain has to move to power. Am I right or am I wrong, y'all? Am I right or am I wrong? Can anybody resonate with this? Can I be a vessel to somebody? So with that being said, is it all right if I tell y'all what we got going on in just a couple weeks, y'all? Is it okay if I tell you about what we got going on in just a couple weeks, y'all? So in just a couple weeks, what we have is the Find Fun Fill Bootcamp, right? And I want to get to this class and I want to break down all the steps, but I want to go ahead and just talk about this real quick, okay? In a couple weeks, we have something called the Find Fun Fill Bootcamp, where you'll be able to spend 5 days with myself and my entire team learning one-on-one on how to build this business. Okay, what we're going to be doing day one is we're going to be talking about how to exactly break down how to find your location. We're going to be finding locations together. My team is going to be finding locations for you. Okay, day two, we're going to be talking about funding in depth. Day two, we're going to be talking about funding in depth, where we're going to be breaking down funding sequences. We're going to be breaking down credit repair. We're going to be breaking down all the different reasons why you might not have a 700 credit score and why you're not getting $100,000 in funding. Okay, day three and day four, we're going to be talking about filling the location. Right? Day three and day four, we're going to be talking about different creative ad strategies, different content strategies, all the different ways to go ahead and move your business forward. And then day five, we're going to be operating the location. Would that help anybody, y'all? Would that help anybody? Would that help anybody take to the next level if you can learn with my team one-on-one for 5 whole days? Would that help anybody? So before I go into this class, I just wanted to give a few people who are serious the opportunity to kind of jump into that, right? What I want to go ahead and do, normally tickets for that boot camp are $97. What I want to go ahead and do is let 10 people join our boot camp for 50% off. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's myvenueprofit.com. Once you go ahead and get your ticket, I just want you to comment got mine. That's it. Just comment got mine so I can shout you out real quick and I know you're moving fast, right? I just dropped it in the chat. Boom. Just dropped it in the chat. I'm going to put it over here for IG too because I want to get to this class. There we go. So just go to myvenueprofit.com, use code 50, and then on the next page, it's going to have the option to join us on Telegram, to join our Telegram community. All right. So go to myvenueprofit.com and then use code 50, right? Now, while y'all are working on that, while you're taking care of that, or whatever the case may be, is it all right if I just asked everybody who's feeling stuck? Can I ask the question again? I know we have some new people here, right? How many people here are feeling stuck? How many people here feel like they are in a position where they can't move to the next level? Right? Just put yes or no in the chat for me. Just put yes or no in the chat for me. Right? Just put yes or no in the chat, right? Right. How many people here are feeling stuck? There we go. Right? Just how many people? Just only one yes? We only got one yes over here, y'all? Only one yes, only one person feeling stuck? Okay. Okay. So with that being said, right, can I give y'all a 3-step framework to get unstuck, y'all? Can I give y'all a 3-step framework that would help you move to the next level? I want to get to this class, but I want to make sure that everybody's moving forward and taking a step forward, right? And here's the thing. Once you get your ticket for the boot camp, comment got mine. Once you get your ticket for the boot camp, just comment got my ticket. Okay? Just so I can shout you out, make sure you get to the room and everything like that. Okay? So with that being said, my 3-step framework for going ahead and getting unstuck is called wake, work, win. Can somebody put wake in the chat for me, y'all? And this is live, by the way. You see, this is 7:11 p.m. EST. This is live, 100% live, right? Somebody put wake in the chat for me, okay? Somebody put wake. I don't see these comments moving at all. Y'all falling asleep on me? What are we doing? Okay, wake, W-A-K-E, wake, like wake up, right? Here's the thing, right? A lot of times, unfortunately, people are sleepwalking through life. That's just the real. That's just the real. How many people here accomplish all their goals for 2025? Probably not a lot of us, right? Why? Because we are going ahead and sleepwalking through this process, right? Is it all right if I share a Bible story with y'all? Is it all right if I share a Bible story with y'all, right? So anybody familiar with the story of Samuel and Eli? So the story of Samuel and Eli is very simple, right? So Samuel was a boy serving under Eli, and one night they're in the cabin and he's hearing a voice calling out to him, right? Samuel, Samuel, Samuel. So this whole time Samuel is thinking that it's Eli calling out to him, but real time it's what? The voice of God, right? So finally Eli turns to Samuel and he says, if he calls again, say, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening, right? At that moment, he recognized that it's actually God's voice, and that's when everything changes for him, right? So what does this mean for all of us in this room right now, right? Unfortunately, some of us, excuse me, a lot of us are like Samuel, right? We're running to other people who might not even have our best interest when God himself is trying to get our attention. Am I right or am I wrong, y'all? Am I right or am I wrong? A lot of times we're moving through life on autopilot when we don't even realize that God's the one who's trying to get our attention, right? So when you finally realize that the person you prayed for this blueprint is the one trying to get your attention, that's when you say, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? So here's the thing, right? And here's the next big caveat, right? Why would I listen to people who don't have the same vision that I have? Why would I take advice from people who God didn't give the same vision to? Right? Like, that's like expecting somebody who has different eyesight than you to see as well as you. You don't have the same eyesight as me. Am I right or am I wrong? For me, the Bible says the hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber. Right? So if I know that, okay, cool, this is the vision that I prayed for, this is the plan that I prayed for, and I finally have it, why on earth am I listening to other people who don't do it, right? Like the fact of the matter is, some of us aren't even lazy. We're just living life on autopilot. We're just going through the motions. This is your call to wake up. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? So if you haven't already, join us for this 5-day boot camp. If you have not already, join us for this 5-day boot camp where for 5 days you get to learn one-on-one with us, right? For literally the cost of a meal, instead of $97, 10 people get it for 50% off. Just use code 50, right? This is going to be a week of transformation. This is going to be a week of taking things to the next level. This is going to be a week that, okay, cool, I prayed for an opportunity, now we have it, right? If you prayed for these blessings, you can't play about it, right or wrong, right? Right or wrong. Can I share the next step of the framework? Y'all ready for the next step of the framework, y'all? And once you got your ticket, just comment got mine. Once you got your ticket, excuse me, once you got your ticket, just comment got mine. Because I want to get to this class. Y'all ready for the second part of this framework? Hey, y'all moving slow. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Okay. So the second part of this framework is the work. Drop the word work in the chat for me, y'all. Drop the word work in the chat for me, right? The second part of this framework is to work, right? Because here's the thing, right? The universe doesn't bless potential, it blesses action, right? Everybody's familiar with the story of Noah's Ark in the book of Genesis, correct? Right? Ashante said, got mine, let's go. Right? Everybody's familiar with everybody's familiar with the story of Noah's Ark, right? Right? Oh, I didn't see the comments. Okay. So what happened in the story, right? God told Noah to build an ark because a flood was coming, right? So at that time, nobody was familiar with the flood like that, right? Nobody was familiar with something that can happen. Everybody thought that he was crazy, right? But guess what? What did Noah do instead? He took action. He started cutting wood. He started hammering nails. He started putting faith into something that he didn't even fully understand yet. So because he didn't stall, because he moved, and because he worked, what happened? What happened? Because he put faith into action, what happened? What happened? Right? Because he moved, he got saved. Because he moved, he made progress. Because he moved, he received a miracle, right? Bible says all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Am I right or wrong? Right? Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? A lot of people talk about it, only few people actually work for it, right? Like, how are you going to pray and ask the universe, ask God for this blueprint when you're not even willing to go ahead and put the work into to manifest on this blueprint, right? Like, what everybody talks about it, few people actually work for it. Few people actually work for it. You can't just want it. You've got to actually work for it. That is where the shift starts, right? Can I get an amen in the chat, y'all? I want to go ahead and get to this class, but I want to make sure y'all take this framework and run with it, because here's the thing, right? What I see all the time is people take all the notes on the class and they don't execute on anything. They don't take any of these things and put it into practice. Why? Because all they have is a blueprint. They don't put no action behind it. You have got to put action behind this thing, right? Here's one of the biggest things. This is how I know somebody is serious about their goals, right? I look at their calendar and I look at their bank account. Their calendar to see how much time they've allotted to it, their bank account to see how much money, right? So my question to everybody is this, right? If your family, right, took a look at your calendar and your bank account for 2025, would they think that you're serious about your goals? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Okay. I appreciate the honesty. Faith without work is dead. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? How many people here, if your family looked at your calendar and your bank account for the entire year, would think that you are serious about your goals? Right? Few people said yes. Very, very, very few people said yes. Right? So isn't that time to change something? Isn't that a wake-up call? Isn't it time to go ahead and put action behind faith? Right? If that is you, if you already take that step, join us on this boot camp. Join us on this boot camp where you will experience a week of transformation. You will experience a week of transformation so you can go ahead and get to the next level. So you can be around people who are like-minded and also want to go to the next level, right? Now, the third part of this framework, which is extremely powerful, the third part of this framework is to win. The third part of this framework is to win, right? Because the war comes after obedience. Y'all know delayed obedience is just another word for disobedience. Delayed obedience is just another word for disobedience, right? Y'all know the story of David and Goliath, right? Why were the Israel soldiers afraid of Goliath, but a shepherd boy named David with no type of fighting experience, no type of military experience, no type of warrior experience, he stood in front of the giant, right? Like he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the most trained, but he stepped forward when others froze, right? So here's the thing, right? There are people out there who are less qualified than you, but will become more successful than you because they take action. I'm gonna say that one more time. There are people less qualified than you who are going to become more successful than you because they take action. And whose fault is that? Right? I see a couple people asking about ticket. Go to myvenueprofit.com, use code 50. Go to myvenueprofit.com, use code 50. We have about 8 tickets left at the 50% off, right? So if he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the most trained, why was he able to strike the giant down? Because he moved when others didn't. It's that simple. Now, here's the thing, right? Your giant is probably not 9 feet tall. Your giant is probably not 300 pounds. Your giant isn't probably big and strong and all those things, but it comes in other ways. It comes in debt. It comes in fear. It comes in self-doubt. It doesn't come from perfection. It comes from taking action, right? It comes from taking action. It comes from, okay, cool. I have the faith and belief and know-how to go ahead and do this. I'm going to actually take action. I know people who are so smart, who are so talented, but they do not go anywhere because they take no action. They just say, oh, okay, you know what? God will provide. Oh, okay, I'm just going to sit here and let the universe come to me. Oh, and guess what? It doesn't happen. Guess what? God woke you up. God woke you up. He did his job. You know how many people didn't wake up today? Google it. Google how many deaths happened this year, right? Their time is up. It's over, right? But you did. You woke up. So what are we doing with our time? What are we doing with our energy? What are we doing with our emotion? We have to get moving. Somebody drop move in the chat. Somebody drop move in the chat. Katina got her ticket. Let's go. You've got to move, right? Bible says run in such a way as to get the prize. Run in such a way as to get the prize, right? If you know that this is the level of success that you want. You want $50,000 in funding. You want a $10,000 a month business. You want to go here. You want to go there. You want freedom, right? You have to do what's required. Somebody put required in the chat for me. You have to do what's required. It's not about how you feel. It's not about how, oh, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like investing. I don't feel like spending my money. Oh, this is a scam. Oh, this is that. Oh, this is that. Whatever the case may be. You have to do what's required. And what's required, if what's required is for me to invest in myself, if what's required is for me to go ahead and get around like-minded individuals, if what's required is for me sacrificing time and money out of my calendar and making it, then I'm going to do what's required. I'm going to do what's required. Because guess what? I know God don't play about me. If he takes something away, it's because he wants to give me something better. Yes or yes? So if that sounds like you, join us for this 5-day boot camp where you'll learn literally how to find, fund, and fill your very own event space in 5 days live with our entire team one-on-one, right? All you have to do is go to myvenueprofit.com, use code 50, and grab your ticket, okay? All right, let's get it, let's get it. Who's ready for this class, though? Y'all ready for this class? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get it popping. I'm ready to get it popping, right? So we're going to be breaking it down into 3 segments, right? Number 1 is how to get 100K in funding no matter what your credit score is, right? Because we want to go ahead and get that going, right? And I do apologize. This is probably going to move a little bit fast, okay? Right? But we've got a lot of things that we want to talk about, so we want to get it done, right? 2, we're going to be talking about how to find our properties, right? We want to go ahead and make sure we find a profitable location. 3, we want to go ahead and fill that location, okay? So let's go ahead and get it done, right? First step first, getting the funding, right? Anybody familiar with the credit pie? Just drop yes or no in the chat. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, so bear with me. I want to read the room. I want to kind of see how we do, right? So a lot of people say no. Okay, cool. Totally understand. Everybody who's on IG, come on YouTube or come on Zoom. I want to close out this. Boom. Perfect. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So the credit pie, right? The credit pie is essentially what we want to do is essentially what makes up our credit profile, right? You can have an 800 credit score and still not get funding. Why? Because it's with the credit profile instead of the credit score. So what goes into a credit profile, right? It's 5 things, okay? It's new credit, credit mix, payment history, utilization, and age, okay? So with that being said, I need to understand every single which part of the credit pie, because these are all going to negatively impact my credit score. For example, new credit. New credit comes in the form of inquiries, right? You all know what an inquiry is. You've all seen an inquiry. You understand how that works, right? I go and apply for some credit, ding, I get an inquiry, right? The more inquiries that are on my credit profile, the more my credit score decreases because it looks like I'm fishing for capital, and banks don't like that, right? So ideally, you want less than 4 inquiries in the past 6 months, okay? Make sure you write that down. The second part of this is credit mix, okay? When it comes down to credit mix, banks like to see versatility in your credit profile, right? So, okay, cool. It's great that you have credit cards or whatever, but do you have an auto loan? Do you have a home loan? Do you have phone bill? Do you pay rent? All these different things, okay? So I like to go ahead and have all these things situated, right? So with that being said, the next thing that I want to go ahead and do is now I want to go ahead and have more mixture. So you can actually go ahead and do things like report your rent using rent reporters, rentreporters.com. You could go ahead and write that down. Rent reporters, you can report your rent. You can report utilities through a website like eCredible. Okay, you can go ahead and have another website called self.com. That's great for going ahead and having things reported, right? And you can backdate a lot of these things as well. So if you have been paying rent for the last 2 years, well, now you can go ahead and have that reported on your credit profile. And that makes sense to everybody? If that makes sense, just drop "makes sense" in the chat, okay? Like I said, we got a lot of information today, right? We got a lot of information, a lot of things to go through, so we want to make sure that we get through these, okay? Right? Park your questions. I'm gonna go through all the questions before we end, just so I don't miss anything. But I just want to keep, I might answer your question as we kind of go along, right? The next thing is payment history. This is about 35% of your credit profile, and it's super important, right? When it comes down to payment history, Nicole said, "Got mine. Let's go. Let's go." Right? When it comes down to payment history, what we want to understand is that is 35, sorry, I just mentioned that. It's 30 to 35% of our credit profile, right? This is super important because banks want to make sure that they're lending to people who are reliable with their payments, okay? So things like derogatories, collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, late payments, things of that nature, those have got to go. Those absolutely have got to go. Quick honesty hour, right? How many people have negative items on their credit profile? Collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, late payments. It's okay. Put it in the chat. Just put yes, no, maybe so, whatever the case may be, right? We want to know these things. We want to be very clear about these things, okay? So with that being said, right, when it comes down to payment history, we want to get these things removed. Now, I'm going to show you guys an AI tool that we utilize to get these things off in just a second, but let me go through the next two pieces, right? Next, we have utilization, right? When it comes down to utilization, let me just get some water real quick. Nice. When it comes down to utilization, right, ideally, we want to be below 10%. Okay. I know a lot of times people say, oh, well, be below 30%, whatever the case would be. Yeah, that's cool. You can kind of get away with that, but ideally below 10%. Brian, but if I have credit, how can I not use it? I'm going to talk to you about that in just in a second, right? Anybody know what a reporting date is? Reporting date? Whoop. Yes, no, yes, 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 no. Cool. Right. So I'll breeze through it because I see a lot of people already familiar with it, right? So a reporting date is essentially the date that the banks go ahead and report how much you owe to them to the credit bureaus, right? So think about it like this. If I have an American Express credit card and my due date is the 1st, that means that's when they want their money. But my reporting date may not be until the 5th. So on the 5th, that's when they're going to say, oh, okay, cool. Brian has this much utilization, and that's what they're going to report to the credit bureaus, right? But here's the thing, right? You could have paid off your credit report by the 1st, okay? If you make another payment, or sorry, if you have another charge in between the 1st and the 5th, well, guess what? That's going to go ahead and report to the bureaus on the 5th. So you're thinking this whole time, oh my God, I paid off my credit card on the due date. Yes, you did, but you used it before the reporting date. And that's what's going to go ahead and get reported, okay? So you want to understand these things. So what I always recommend to people is, hey, set up your credit card in a way where you automatically pay the minimum payment on the due date, but put the reporting date in your calendar. So all my reporting dates for all my credit cards are all in my calendar. And the day before my reporting date, I go in and I clear them off, okay? That's one of the biggest things that you want to do. Write that down, write it down. If you got it, just comment got it, right? Cool. The last thing is age, right? Now, ideally, you want about 4 years or more of average age on your credit profile. That means if you have a credit card that's 2 years old, you have another credit card that's 10 years old, 2 plus 10 is 12, divide that by 2, it's 6. You have an average age of 6 years, right? Age is extremely important because the banks want to see that, okay, cool, this person is used to using a certain amount of credit by this time, right? So with that being said, right, you can use certain things that you can use trade lines, you can use authorized users, You can use, let's see what else. Those are two of the biggest things. When you also do the rent reporters, and when you do rent reporters, you can backdate it. So if you've been paying rent for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the case may be, you can backdate that. Okay? Does that make sense so far? Just comment makes sense if that makes sense. If that makes sense, just comment makes sense if that makes sense. I just want to make sure I didn't lose nobody, right? So going back to the negative items, right? Going back to the negative items, right? With that being said, right, if you have certain negative items on your credit profile, they will hurt you. Charge-offs, collections, bankruptcies, late payments, things of that nature, right? There are a couple of different ways to go about it. Okay. Number one, consumer law. Consumer law is essentially when you're suing the bureaus, right? You're saying that, hey, these negative items were furnished on my credit report. They don't make sense. They are inaccurate. It's hurting my score. Can you please remove them, right? That's a tough sell. That's a tough sell. Typically, consumer law attorneys will go ahead and use the Fair Credit Reporting Act or FCRA, and they'll go ahead and be able to do that. But guess what? A consumer law attorney can easily be $2,000 to $3,000. Tough, right? Speedy, effective, but expensive, right? The next thing that you can use is factual disputing, which is what most commonly people do, right? With factual disputing, what they're going to go ahead and do is they're going to go ahead and print out letters, send out dispute letters based on the credit report, based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and they're going to go ahead and send it out to the bureaus, right? So with that being said, now we are going ahead and going into another territory called Metro 2. Is anybody familiar with Metro 2? Drop yes or no in the chat, right? Anybody familiar with Metro 2? So what we've seen a lot of success, right, is with something called Metro 2, right? And a lot of clients have been able to get success with this as well because they speak the language of the bureaus, right? It's like if you're speaking English and I'm speaking French, well, we're going to miss each other, right? I want to speak the language of the bureaus, right? So they're going to speak the language of Metro 2, right? So what the website that we've utilized before for credit repair is that it's going to go ahead and utilize artificial intelligence to analyze your credit report, and then it creates its own online letters on the Metro 2 site, and it sends it out to the bureaus, and it typically knocks off these negative items in about 30 to 60 days. That's pretty fast. Is that fast to y'all? It's pretty fast to me, right? So the website that we use is called M2 Rapid Repair AI. I'm gonna just drop it for you guys. You guys can take a look at it, try it out, check if it works, whatever the case may be. But that's what we have utilized to go ahead and get negative items off for ourselves, for clients, whatever the case may be, right? And it just works, right? So I just dropped that link there for y'all, right? So with that being said, is anybody familiar with a funding sequence? Anybody know what a funding sequence is? All right. Beautiful. No, no, cool. So a funding sequence is essentially when you're going ahead and you're applying for a certain level of cards and banks in a sequential order, right? So a funding sequence, typically what's going to happen is that, okay, cool, my credit report is in place, it's ready for funding. I'm going to apply for these cards in this particular order to maximize the level of funding. Does that kind of make sense so far? So what we want to do is you want to understand how funding sequences work, right? Every single bank, every single card pulls from a different credit bureau. Some banks pull from Experian, some pull from Equifax, some pull from TransUnion. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make sure, okay, cool, I'm applying for these cards in a certain manner, in a certain way, and so I can maximize my level of funding, right? So I want to give you guys a funding sequence right here, right now, so you guys can go ahead and try for yourself, right? Are y'all ready? Just put ready in the chat, right? So where you're going to go, and it's essentially it's a funding sequence to go from like good cards to great cards to even to really, really big cards, right? So number one, you're going to go to Self-Lender. Self-Lender has their own cards, right? And you're going to get 2 secured credit cards. If you don't have the best credit, then this probably works out for you because it's a secured card, right? So with that being said, you're going to get 2 secured credit cards, no hard inquiry, right? Number 2, you're going to go ahead and go to Capital One Quick Silver or Discover Cashback. Me personally, I would go with the Discover, right? They pull Equifax, Capital One sometimes pulls all 3 bureaus, and it could get a little messy. All right. So I would just stick with the Discover Cashback. At that point, I'm going to go over to Navy Federal and get either the green or the blue credit card. All right. Once I do that, now I want to go over to American Express. I'll get the everyday personal card. These are personal cards, by the way, right? So we're going to start with personal, we're going to go to business, right? So next is going to be the American Express everyday personal card. And again, if this is fast, I know it's fast because we have a lot to go through. We're going to be spending an entire day on this during the boot camp. So make sure you guys get your ticket, right? I'm going to drop it one more time, myvenueprofit.com, use code 50, right? So again, like if this is a lot, we're going to be going through all of this for a full day on the boot camp. Okay. So make sure you grab your ticket. Go to myvenueprofit.com, use code 50. We have 6 spots left for the 50% off where you'll be able to go in, learn with us, learn one-on-one with us, ask questions one-on-one, all that good stuff. Once you get your ticket, just comment, got mine. Again, I know I'm moving fast through all this. It's just that we have so much, we have such a short amount of time. But on the boot camp, we have 5 days together. So that's going to be really, really cool, really, really helpful. Okay, cool. Next, like I said, we got the American Express everyday card, right? Now it's time to switch over to business. So when we switch over to business, now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go with either KeyBank or Citizens Bank. Now, these are local banks, okay? These are local banks, so they don't have them in every single area. If you don't have a KeyBank or a Citizens Bank, I would go with a Truist, Truist, right? After that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with a Navy Federal Platinum card, and then I'm going to spin the block on American Express, get the gold, platinum, and blue business. Now, with American Express, you can get about 3 or 4 cards off one inquiry, so I would get all 3 at the same time: gold, platinum, blue business, all right? And that is the funding sequence, right? Now, some common mistakes that people run into. These are some big things, and I would definitely write these down. These are some common mistakes that people run into, right? Number 1, not putting appropriate business revenue. There are some applications that are going to ask you for projected revenue, some that are going to ask you for actual, some that are going to ask you for preceding, and you want to answer the right things in the right place, okay? Number 2, not setting up your credit profile the right way. If you don't set up your credit profile the right way, you are going to get denied, okay? Number 3, not asking for a reconsideration. I had this one situation where a lady got only a $6,000 approval. We went to go ahead. We went to the reconsideration department. She ended up getting about 18,000, right? A lot of times what happens is that a computer will go ahead and look at the application and just give you whatever. But if you go ahead and you ask for a reconsideration, typically a human will look it over, okay? Next, reapplying too soon. Reapplying too soon, right? If you get denied, you're going to get something called a denial letter. You want to wait for that denial letter before you go ahead and start reapplying again, okay? Next, applying for too many cards at the same time or not applying in the right order. That goes back to the funding sequence, okay? And again, guys, I have my credit specialist coming in on one of the days in the boot camp. He's going to be breaking down this entire thing. So make sure you get your ticket in the boot camp. Go to myvenueprofit.com, use code 50, get your ticket in the boot camp because we're going to be spending an entire day on this, okay? The next most common mistake is not paying attention to reporting cycles, right? Not paying attention to reporting cycles. So again, make sure you call your credit cards, find out the reporting dates, put them in your calendar, and then you're good to go, all right? Next, inconsistent information. You have this business name over here with this EIN, with this personal name, with this guarantee, all over the place, right? You cannot be sloppy with these applications, right? And then last but not least, using the wrong funding vehicle. You're applying for personal when it should be business. You're applying for business when it should be personal. All these different things, okay? You want to make sure you keep it clean, you keep it organized, all right? So, does it make sense? Cool? Understand? Got it, right? I know there might be people who does anybody here have like has anybody here tried to get funding on their own? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? No. Okay. Okay. So there is an option here, right? So a lot of times people, they don't know the correct funding sequence, so they just don't want to make these mistakes, right? So this is a program that we've done before, where if you do want to go ahead and maximize on your funding, right? We do have an option to do done for you funding sequences, right? So if you say, hey, I have a 700 credit score, I want to maximize on my funding, I don't want to make mistakes, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Cool. With that being said, we actually have a funding program as well. I'm going to drop the link. If you have a 700 credit score plus or even a 680 plus, book a call. Book a call. Let's see if we can help you. We'll see if we can get you some funding. We've gotten a lot of clients anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000 in funding on the low end, and then we could get some clients even higher depending on what they need it for. So if you do fit that category, book a call right there and go ahead and see if we can help you. I just realized I found my Amex. It was in my pocket. Ah. Cool, 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 cool. Y'all ready to move on to the next part? Finding your spaces. We moving and grooving. We moving and grooving. Y'all ready to move on to the next part? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. And if you got your ticket, comment got mine. Got mine. Comment got mine if you got your ticket. Let's get it. Let's get it. Right? Let's get it. Right? If you got your ticket, comment got mine. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Right? Cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right. Now it is time to go into finding spaces. All right, cool. Let me find this. All right, cool. Whoops. There we go. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so here we go. There we go. Can everybody see my screen? Just drop yes or no in the chat. Everybody see my screen? Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So LoopNet is one of the websites that we utilize to go ahead and find properties, right? So with that being said, I want to show you guys the exact framework, the exact filters and whatnot that we utilize to go ahead and find the properties, okay? Let's go ahead and do this. There we go. Perfect. 8 watching. Interesting, interesting, interesting. All right. So, all right, cool. So let me go ahead and put a location in here real quick. So I'll put Brooklyn, New York. Perfect. All right. So I want to show you guys the exact parameters that we utilize to find spaces, right? Of course, we kind of fluctuated a little bit from time to time, but these are the general parameters, right? So number one, I'm going to go over to space uses. I'm going to hit industrial, retail, restaurant, and flex. I don't know why that keeps popping up. All right. Rent, I'm going to go to max $40 a square foot. We typically like to stay around $30 a square foot, but some people don't know how to list their pricing, so we just go up to 40. Size, we're going to go over to, I like to do 1,500 to 5,000 square feet. Cool. How many results do we have? 103. Nice, nice, nice. Right. Okay, cool. Here we go. Loyal said, got mine. Let's get it. Let's get it. Right. So let's go ahead and take a look at some properties. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is nice. I think I actually saw this property before. This is nice. Yeah. And you see they got the rental rate right there, $25 a square feet. What do y'all think about this property? Y'all like it? So in the boot camp that we have in just a couple weeks, we're going to actually be finding properties for you guys. So if you have not already, make sure you get your ticket to the boot camp. Get your ticket to the boot camp. We have like 6 spots left. I'm going to drop the link again, myvenueprofit.com, use code 50. Whoop, myvenueprofit.com, use code 50. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, cool. So it's literally that simple to find properties, right? You see, I found that one in about 30 seconds. It's super easy. Same process, every other city, rinse and repeat, right? But now it's like, okay, cool. What do I say to these properties, right? What do I say to them afterwards, right? So is there, if I just give y'all my script, can I give y'all my script to go ahead and do this? So, y'all ready? Cool. Let's go ahead and run, right? So what we want to go ahead and do is we want to speak to the landlords with some certain level of emphasis. We want to, sorry, not emphasis, but a certain level of know-how, right? We don't want to sound like a newbie because they're going to be like, no, hell no, I don't want to work with you, right? So kind of jumping into it. Hey, how are you? My name is Brian. I'm interested in 1750 Pitkin Avenue. Is it still available? Yes, the realtor is going to respond, yes, it is. What type of business are you looking to have? All right, well, I'm looking to have an event space to host conferences, baby showers, wedding receptions, things of that nature. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think the landlord would be interested in that. They gave us some resistance. Cool, no problem. All right. First thing, and this is where a lot of people stop, right? A lot of people stop and this is, oh my God, they don't want to have an event space. Cool. Can I ask why? 4 magic words. Can I ask why? Right? So with that being said, they might say, oh, well, it's just too much of a headache. Cool. I'm gonna come down to their level And I'm going to say, oh, okay, cool. Now, I totally understand why you would say that. At the venue I manage now, when we first started, events used to be such a problem. Now we have new policies in place to make sure we get the right clientele and it doesn't bring any of those issues. Oh, yeah. What type of policies? Well, we usually don't allow liquor on premises and we shut down before midnight, right? In addition, we have security on premises at every event. We are fully licensed and insured as well. Okay, cool. See what I did there? I handled all these objections. Okay, cool. I can run it by the landlord and see what he says, right? Oh, how soon would I be able to see the space? I'm going to follow up. How soon can I see the space? I'm not going to let you walk away. How soon can I see the space? Oh, I can be there whenever. And then you just set up your appointment. You see, I've established authority, I've established credibility, and now I went right in for the close because I want to see that property. So many people just kind of stop early at the first objection. That doesn't make any sense, right? I want to keep moving forward. Somebody put move forward in the chat for me. Somebody put move forward in the chat for me. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Cool, cool, cool. And again, we are going through all the, what is this? There we go. Cool. All right, cool. 5 tickets left for the 50% off. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, cool. So now what happens next, right? What happens next? So now it's like I've discussed the script. I went ahead and looked at the property. Now it's like, what questions do I ask, right? Now, let's go through some questions that we're going to ask, okay? So we like to call this the broker agent realtor list of questions. Let's walk through it for real quick, okay? Number one question I want to ask is, what work would the landlord do prior to the tenant moving in, or is the place delivered as is? Okay, I want to know, are you going to do any work, or am I just kind of like on my own, right? Number two, are any utilities included, right? Number three, what utilities are sub-metered, or does each unit have their own meter? Right. Number four, what percentage of real estate taxes am I going to be? What percentage of real estate taxes is the landlord responsible for? Am I responsible for? Right? Is it a triple net lease? Is it a double net lease? Is it a gross lease? Is it a modified gross lease? I want to know all these different things. Right? What was the space used for before? Am I getting any rent concession? Right? Rent concession is essentially free rent. Right? Am I getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Right? How long did the previous tenant occupy this space? I want to know if this is a good spot. Is the landlord a good landlord? Right? What is the annual escalation? Okay. What is the annual escalation? Like, how much is the rent going to be going every single year? All right. What are the move-in costs? Okay. Months of rent. How many months of rent? How many months of security deposit? Is there a broker fee that's required? Right. These are all things that you want to go ahead and know. Right. Do you have a copy of the certificate of occupancy? What was it zoned for? All right. These are questions that show that you are an expert. These are questions that make it look like you know what you're doing and that you've been there before. Makes sense? If this makes sense, Rajat, makes sense in the chat, y'all. I know, again, I know I'm moving fast through it because we don't have a lot of time together, but we're going to be spending an entire day on this in the boot camp. So if you have not gotten your ticket yet, make sure you get your ticket, okay? Let's get it. Let's go. All right. Cool, 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 cool. Right. So we just talked about the questions to ask. When it comes down to build out, what you guys want to do is you want to do a minimum viable product, an MVP, right? So say, for example, you get $50,000 in funding. All you have to do, split it down the middle. Half of that goes into build out. Half of that goes into moving costs. And the second half goes into build out and furniture. That's the key thing. Make sure you write that down. Okay? Cool, 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 cool. Y'all ready to talk about how to fill your space? Y'all ready to go into part 3? Y'all ready to talk about how to fill your space? Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay. Let's get it. 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 Okay. All right. All right. All right. Cool. 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 All right. So with that being said, all right. Now let's talk about the 4 types of content. All right. Typically in event space leads, we focus on content and paid ads. Are there different ways to go ahead and promote your venue? Absolutely. There's Peer Space, Wedding Wire, The Knot, all these other different things, right? However, when it comes to this, we like to own our data. Somebody say own my data. Somebody say own my data. Okay. Let me go ahead and whoop. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, where did that go? All right, cool. Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to take a note on something. Yeah, so one of the biggest things that when you are running ads or when you are going ahead and advertising a venue, whatever the case may be, is you want to make sure that you own your data, right? So with that being said, there's 4 types of content to post and how to go ahead and structure these things, right? So first things first, what we want to go ahead and do is we want to structure our Instagram a certain way, right? Your Instagram bio should talk about who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them. I want to show you guys an example, right? ING bio optimization. Cool. All right, let me go ahead and put this over here. Beautiful. Can everybody see my screen? Beautiful. All right, so when it comes down to optimizing your bio, one of the biggest things, like I said, that I just mentioned, is that it should talk about who you are, how you serve them, and what you do. All right. So with that being said, number 1, right? Always make sure you change your name to City Event Space, right? So Greater Atlanta Event Space, right? Greater New York Event Space, whatever the case may be, right? If it's an all-white canvas, I would put all-white canvas in whatever city, right? I like to put the number of people standing, just so okay, cool. If I serve up to 120 people, don't go ahead and tell me that you want 300 people. Like, we're going to waste both our times, right? Number 3, decor packages available. I love to let people know the decor package is available so they don't waste their time bringing their decorator, because I'm going to sell you a package, right? And then you want a clear call to action. DM to book a tour today, right? Call us to book a tour today. Text us to book a tour today, right? So those are the number 1 things that you want to go ahead and do, right? So now, when it comes down to content, right? Like I mentioned, there are 4 different types of content that you want to post, right? Number 1, day in the life / behind the scenes. Okay, that I'm going ahead and showcasing the behind the scenes of the venue. I'm going to the landlord. I'm going to pick up tiles. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Whatever the case may be. Right. Number 2, live events. Right. I want to show people. I want to show other people inhabiting my event space. Right. I want to show you that my event space is being booked, so you don't come in and act like we're not booked and busy. Right. Number 3, event setups. When it comes down to event setups, we want to make sure that we go ahead and are showcasing the people setting up the event. Those are one of the most popular types of content, right? You are setting up for a baby shower, record it. You're setting up for a wedding, record it. All those different things. Number 4, trends and skits, right? Those little trending audios and whatnot that are going crazy online. I want to go ahead and make sure that that's in my Instagram, all right? Y'all got that so far? Got it? Yes, no, maybe so. Beautiful. Let's keep it running and gunning. All right. Excuse me. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. All right. Anybody here have a venue? Anybody here have a venue? Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, a couple people got a venue. Now, for the people who do have a venue, how often are you posting on social media? For the people who do have a venue, how often are you posting on social media? If you're posting every day, how many times a day are you posting? 3 times a week? Okay. So 1 person 3 times a week? Okay. All right. So we have actually used something 1 a week. Okay, cool. If you're not posting 3 times a day, you're going to get blown out by your competition. If you are not posting 3 to 5 times a day, you are going to get blown out by your competition. Why is that? Right? Because every single time you post, you're increasing your engagement, increasing your visibility, increasing your views. And if you're running ads, that's going to decrease your CPLs. That's going to decrease your CPLs, right? Cost per lead, excuse me, right? So we've used something called the Venue Content Engine. The Venue Content Engine is essentially a program where they create all the content for you. They post, they schedule, they write all the content, and you don't even have to worry about it. All you got to do is just record videos of your event space. They take care of the rest. Would that help anybody? Would that help anybody? So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just drop the link for y'all. Y'all can go ahead and book a call with them, check it out, whatever the case may be. But it's called Venue Content Engine. What that does, like I said, they create all the content for your venue. So all you got to do is just record some videos, send it over to them. They create everything. You don't got to worry about that. All right. So I would book a call with them, check it out, all that good stuff. Right. Cool. Cool. Now, as you are going ahead and running your venue, running your business, all those different things, right? You need to have it organized, right? Now, who knows what Honeybook is? Who knows what Triple C is? Never heard of it? That's valid. Cool. So Honeybook and Triple C are softwares that a lot of people utilize to run their venues, right? Remember, it comes back to it comes back to owning your data, right? So when it comes down to owning your data, what you want to go ahead and do is you want to, I use Honeybook. Okay, fit. Oh, there we go. What we want to go ahead and do is we want to understand that you'll need a software to run your business, right? You want to keep things organized. You want to keep things flowing. You want to keep things strict, right? So what we did is we actually created our own software called Venue 360, right? Venue 360 was built for event space owners by event space owners, right? So all the websites, all the ads, all the software, all the organization, everything that you need is built up into Venue 360, right? So with that being said, I can actually, whoop, here we go. Cool. Let me actually go ahead and share it, right? This is just what we've used. Cool. So as you can see, you can build all your websites. You can go ahead and do your funnels. You can connect it to your calendar. You could do email marketing out of it. You could do SMS out of it. You could use AI in it. You can manage all your opportunities, all your pipelines, all your contacts. Everything is built into it. And it's cheaper than a Honeybook. It's better than a Honeybook. You don't have to worry about anything else, right? So I'll go ahead. Sorry about that, y'all. My internet had gone out for a quick second. My bad about that. If y'all can hear me, just drop yes in the chat. If y'all can hear me, just drop yes in the chat. Beautiful. Perfect. Cool. Awesome. Again, friendly reminder, in just a couple weeks, we have the 5-day Find, Fund, and Fill Bootcamp. It is October 6th to October 10th. It's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be amazing. What we want going to be going through is, like I said, every single day is going to be a new topic. Day 1, we're going to be finding spaces together. We're going to be spending all day on that. Day 2, we're going to be getting funding. We're going to be talking to our credit specialist. Day 3 and day 4, we're going to be spending all day talking about how to fill our location, going through content, going through ads, going through all these different things. And then day 5, we're going to be talking about operating your venue. So this is, if you have a venue, if you don't have a venue, if you want a venue, this is perfect for you. So again, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, literally just go to myvenueprofit.com, grab your ticket. We have about 5 tickets left at the 50% off. Let me drop it in the chat real quick. Use, whoop, Code 50. Whoop, there we go. So definitely hit that link real quick, grab your ticket so I can see you guys there. Can I share one more framework creep with you guys before I let y'all go though? Is it cool if I share one more framework with y'all? Just drop yes and or no in the chat. Let me know, please. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, right? My biggest goal today is to one, obviously show you guys how powerful the boot camp will be, but more than that, it's to make sure you guys take a step forward. Okay. So with that being said, I want to give you guys another framework called decide, delete, deliver. Can everybody put decide in the chat for me? Put decide in the chat for me, y'all, real quick. We're gonna get right and tight into it, right? Put decide in the chat for me, right? There's a story in the Bible with Joshua, right? And Joshua stood before Israel when they were going to head to reach the promised land, right? Now, the people that he was leading were confused, right? They're looking at, should we worship the idols of Egypt or should we serve the Lord? What did Joshua say to them? What did he declare? What did he declare to all the people there? He said, choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my household, we will choose to serve the Lord. Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. So, what did that do? What domino did that knock off, right? At that point, the decision wasn't just for Joshua, it was just for his family, it was for the entire nation, right? Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A lot of times, people are not stupid, they're not lazy, whatever the case may be. They just chose to not decide. They chose to not decide. If you are telling yourself, hey, look, listen, I want to be successful, I want to retire my mom, I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever the case may be, but you are not deciding to pursue the path of success, you are essentially choosing the path of failure. You've made that decision, right? Because you are not doing what's required. Somebody put required in the chat. You are not doing what's required. You can't be half stepping. You can't be dipping your toe in the water. You got to jump all the way in. You have to do what's required, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people are not doing what's required. A lot of people are saying to themselves, hey, look, listen, I want more success. I want this, I want that, but they're not doing what's required. Right? It's like when you go to the gym, you want to get slimmed down or something like that, and your trainer says, hey, look, listen, this is how much you got to work out 5 times a day, and you only work out 2. That's cool, but you are not doing what's required. So if success requires you to invest a certain amount of time, invest a certain amount of money, and you don't do it, well, you're choosing to stay poor. All right? Because guess what? Proverbs says all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? So the second part of this, is to delete, right? To delete, right? You cannot build a new future with old attachments, right? If I want to go ahead and get to the next level, well, unfortunately, not everybody can come with me. Not all my old habits can come with me. Not all the old things that I used to do can come with me. Right? Bible says throw off everything that hinders. There are certain things in your life that are a hindrance. There are certain people in your life that are a hindrance. Can I get an amen? There are certain things, certain people, certain things, certain people that are in your life and that are a hindrance, that are doing nothing but holding you back. You know what you have to do to get to the next level, but you are choosing not to do it. Why? Why? Oh, because my friend said that this might be a scam. Is your friend a millionaire? Is your friend rich? Is your friend even on time with their bills? Oh, okay. But you listening to her though. You listening to her. Did you pray to her when you asked to be successful? Did you pray to her when you asked to retire your mom? Did you pray to her when you said to put your kids in a better situation? Oh, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Right? We got to start choosing better who you're listening to, right? In the 5-day boot camp that we're putting together, right? We are having coaches come in for every single day of the week so that you can turn around and say, hey, look, listen, you know what? This person's already doing this at a high level. I want to learn from them. I'm only taking advice from people I want to learn from. I'm sorry. I'm only taking advice from people who I want to be like. That's the thing. Deciding unlocks direction, right? When I decide to put that destination in my GPS, I'm deciding to go to the next level, right? That's when we go. So is it all right if I go to the third step, y'all? The third and final step? Third and final step, then I'll let y'all go. You feel me? Third and final step, then I'll go ahead and let y'all go. Right? And if you didn't get your ticket by now for the boot camp, whew, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But the third step is to deliver, right? And I want to leave y'all with this, right? You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. You do not rise to your goals. You can have the biggest goals in the world. You want to buy a 5-mansion house, you want to do this, you want to do that. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards, right? When David fought Goliath, he delivered publicly, and he didn't just believe privately, excuse me. He didn't just think about it to himself. He declared this publicly. He said, I'm going to fight this giant. Bible says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. That's what he did. He showed up. Can somebody put show up? Can somebody put show up in the chat? He showed up, right? Bible says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans, right? You've committed. You said, this is what I want. This is what I want to get done. But you're not moving like it. You're not moving like it, right? One of the biggest things you're going to get from this boot camp is you are going to be in an environment of people who are going after it just like you. You are going to be going after it in an environment with people just like you. When's the last time you've been around people who really, really motivate and inspire you, right? So if that sounds like you, come on in, come on in, come on in, and join us for this boot camp. Sounds good, y'all? Sounds good, sounds good. Did y'all learn something today? Did y'all learn something today, y'all? Yes or no? Y'all learn something today? Perfect, 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 perfect. Cool, 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 cool. Well, with that being said, y'all, want to wish y'all a good night. I super appreciate it. I'm super glad that y'all go ahead and y'all went ahead